Everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Christy here to do the weekly reading for the sign of Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. If you don't know your Moon and Rising sign, Scorpio, there's a link in the description box where you can find your whole birth chart. And that way, for additional messages this week, you can look at your Moon and Rising sign as well as your Sun sign today. So this is for the week of July 25th to August 1st. And I will be using a tried and true 5-card spread today. I'm going to be practicing the reading spread that I did last week. It was inspired, but it was also new, so I want to get a little bit more fluent with it before doing that again. But I'll probably bring that 6-card spread back in a couple of weeks, and I'll do that on myself and with clients in the meantime. So for now, we'll use the Wisdom of the Oracle deck for 5 cards. We're looking at the following positions here. We're looking at current situation, energy you're bringing into the current situation, probable outcome, what's working for and against you. And I'll get all 5 cards out and then we'll look at them one by one together. And then following that, we'll draw a card each from the Medicine Card Tarot and the Healing with the Angels Tarot for additional messages. Scorpio, this is a general reading, so whatever is most prominent in your life, I'll encourage you to apply these messages to. So what does Scorpio need to know? What does Scorpio need to know? So we're just looking for 3 more cards here and then we'll begin the reading. Scorpio need to know. All right, so we're just looking for one more jumper here. All right, we're just looking for one more jumper. If I don't get one, never mind, there it is. Okay, sweet. So instead of taking bottom of the deck card for energy, we've got a lot to work with here. So we're just going to stick with these 5 cards and of course draw 2 more when this is complete. All right, Scorpio, so let's get a feel for what is going on here, generally speaking. As I mentioned, we have current situation, energy you're just leaving, what's working for and against you, and probable outcome. Now, just from an overall glance here, we have something that is, in terms of what do you need to know, a decision does need to be made and an action needs to be taken once that decision is made. The decision is something that you feel could be scary for you or uncomfortable or unknown. That's probably the only reason it feels scary or uncomfortable, is because it's unknown, it's new. But it is absolutely necessary, only because you're about to break out of your own skin if you don't do it. It's necessary for you to make this decision or take this step because you're absolutely as ready as you're going to be to do this. And there's an element of trusting that this is available to you and that you're ready for it. So we're looking at come to the edge being the central position, deep knowing, energy you're just leaving, to the sea is what's working for you, not for you is working against you, and the Yang card is the probable outcome. So just in terms of everything together here, like I said, It seems as though you feel like you're going with the flow and that's good enough for you, but I'm seeing very strongly that time is up. Like, okay, let's make a move, let's take action. So let's begin in the center. This represents you this week, Scorpio. We have come to the edge. You can see she's almost dancing on the edge of that sort of suspended in air piece of land. She's also, I wouldn't say she's dressed up necessarily, but she's in some sort of dress or gown and she's surrounded by hearts. I think if you were about to make take action this week around a decision that you've finally made for yourself or you finally know is the right place for you to be, etc. I think if you just did it with love in your heart, I honestly believe this is all that's missing this week is do it with love. Okay, as opposed to fear. I don't mean as opposed to hate. Love is actually all there is. There actually isn't fear and there actually isn't hate. There's only a lack of love. And if you were to inject love into the situation, including trust in yourself, that you know what's best for you and you can do this and you have what it takes, or you have the resources, or you know who to turn to, or you're willing to make a mistake or try something new, or even better, you're willing to succeed at something that is new or unfamiliar to you. I honestly believe that's the only thing that's holding you back. It's probably an ascension process. The reason I say that is because we're looking at deep knowing, we're looking at huge psychic energy here. So I don't feel necessarily, it is a general reading, so this could be about business or travel, of course. But I feel according to what you're just coming out of in terms of energy and into, I do feel more prominently what's going on here is a psychological, mental, or emotional decision or move or action that needs to be taken, or that you need to allow or permit yourself to take this week. If it's filled with love, if it's done with love and a sense of, I know this is good for me no matter what happens at the end of it, um, and it will be very positive, then I think that this is the time. I think that that's what's going on this week, that this is the time to do that. The reason why I'm so sure in saying that is because you have deep knowing, which is energy you're just leaving or bringing into the week. And deep knowing is a psychological, emotional, or mental understanding. It's really nothing that can be taught necessarily. Deep knowing is a unique card in the sense where you almost need to figure it out for yourself. Even if you took classes 10 years ago about something that was important to you, even if you have everything around you, let's say you wanted to be a ballerina and you have the shoes and the dress and the classes and everything else. Listen, if you're not ready to go out and dance, nothing can make you go out and dance. You have to be personally ready for that. And I think that's just an illustrative example to explain what I mean, what's going on here. You might have even had everything you need to take this step for a long time, or you've been comfortable with knowing you need to make this decision for a long time. I think now is the point of action, however. Now is you're at the edge, come to the edge, because this is where the magic happens. This is where life happens, okay? And you got to make that move. So if you feel strong in that knowing, strong in that psychic or intuitive energy that you're ready to take this leap for yourself here, I would go for it. What we have here in the working for you category is to the sea. This is kind of interesting because it nearly plays against what I'm saying here. So there could be a measure of comfort that could be pulling your attention away or diverting your attention. And this not for you card is going with the flow. This is essentially what I'm saying. This is saying deep intuition, psychic energy, occult or esoteric knowledge that just even if you were to read about it, you'd need to feel it. You need to be aware of this on an intuitive or psychic level, which you are. And it's curious to me because what is working against you is, what's working for you is going with the flow. You're just like, you're chill, here you are, you're no fear, which is interesting because you need to be in no fear land when you're taking this leap. What is working against you or something you need to be aware of is that something isn't for you. Is it this decision? I don't think so. Honestly, I think that putting it off is what isn't for you. Putting it off is, to me, is going to make something keep appearing. It's going to make it something you know intuitively you have to face or do or get to the bottom of or take a chance on. If you don't, this week, for example, which is another opportunity for you to do this, what's going to occur is it's going to keep playing out in your life. It's going to be what feels like or looks like something's on loop, or something is like Groundhog Day. Like you keep waking up and you're like, things should be different. Why aren't things different? I feel different. Why aren't things around me different? It's because these two are kind of at odds, right? Like going with the flow is working for you right now. Keep going with this feeling. Keep taking this to the next level. Okay, you know what you need to do. Take that leap. Come to the edge. Take that calculated risk here. Go with the flow. Go the way you're going. What's working against you? Feeling as though it's not for you. Feeling as though this isn't the time or you don't have what it takes. Or if you were to keep going with the flow, that it wouldn't get you to where you needed to go. And that is actually a thought process. And that thought process is what I believe isn't for you. Because here's the clincher. That thought process, that belief system is a game. That's playing the game, okay? Whatever that means for you when you contemplate that or when you consider that term intuitively, what feels like a game to you that you're not getting to the edge of, that you're not completing, that you're not taking a calculated risk of, to get yourself out of one, say, incarnation or state, stage, okay? What are you trying to avoid? Because it's saying it's done. That game that's being avoided, or you think maybe if you just put it off, you can deal with it next time better. No, that game is actually playing against you and it's sucking up time, and it could even be sucking up psychic energy. It's time to get rid of whatever feels like a game right now. Go with the flow. Go in this direction here. You don't want to go backwards, because here in the probable outcome card is definitive action. This is why I feel like you're gonna feel this as soon as you hear the word game, and you're gonna be like, oh my God, child, really? Yeah, no, I know exactly what that means. It's time for me to make a move. It's time for me to take a risk for me, because I know what's going on. You know what's going on. You have it figured out. You don't need to question this anymore. This is something you're highly in tune with, um, and aware of. This is why the action will be taking. So if you continue going this way, probable outcome is big, definitive action. This is the card of Leo. This is the card of the Sun. This is the number one card. This is about the self, pure self. This is also infancy. So whatever you are doing here is going to be the beginning of another stage or another level, maybe even another game, if you will. But that's up to you. That's going to be your call. That's on your time. That's your clock, because you've made the calculated risk to take it another stage, take it another level. Just remind yourself not to go backwards here. The fortune cookie in the center has the term nope on it too. So I think you're just tired of it. And this might even be a reminder this week, Scorpio, where it's like, it isn't your imagination. You know what you're doing. You have to just keep going. Take a calculated risk to your benefit. What is good for you? And I truly believe this for any sign, as long as you're not purposely taking from someone else or deceiving someone else or lying to yourself, you're always in high vibration. So continue in that path, because I think you'll be very excited once you make this move here, and you'll be like, oh, this is so refreshing. I really needed this. This is exciting. This is a new phase for me. And then you can take this stage of infancy and build on that. because I feel like this is kind of over. Not that you can't have intuitive or psychic experiences again, but you can't keep having the same ones over and over and not make a move, I think is what it's saying here. Because I asked the question, what do you need to know? And I think what you need to know, Scorpio, is stop resting on your laurels. Even this sense of going with the flow could be working to your advantage. I think what it means here is going with the flow with this psychic energy, not going with the flow of not making a move, okay? So just to summarize, technically take a risk, take a calculated risk here. Do something that is maybe you've been dreaming about for some time or been thinking about or even dreaming about. And like I said, if you do it with love, I think you'll be really pleasantly surprised at how you feel at the end of that. I think it's going to lead to a great deal of excitement here. So one of the additional cards, Scorpio, is the turkey. His key word is giveaway. Interesting enough here. Guess what? We have giveaway and not for you. I truly believe here this is time to give something up, right? Give up the game, give up the ghost, give up the demons. Whatever that is, I'm not talking in terms of judgment. I'm using themes and terminology that might appeal to you or resonate with you or intuitively or otherwise. So if there's something you feel you need to give up on a really deep level here that you've contemplated for some time, you have deep knowledge about, you're very wise about by now, you don't want to do the circular thing anymore. Game is up, right? Time is up. It's time to give it away. It's time to say game over. You're moving on to something bigger and better for yourself, even an ascension. However, what I just realized here is that this new phase for you, the mere fact that the new phase is a stage of infancy could be or feel like a turnoff. And I understand that. I really do. Sometimes when we start something from scratch, whether it's learning or trying something new or even a new concept, a new way of doing things, for example, it can feel kind of clumsy, right? And it's humbling because you're not an expert yet. But listen, there's also a great deal of joy that can be had there as well, and a great deal of excitement that belongs in those phases of doing things. So like I said, really concentrate on the love aspect here, have faith in the highest good for yourself, and have faith that you know what to do here, because this is definitively a calculated situation. In terms of giveaway, I would give away or give up or let go of or say you can have it, I don't need it anymore. This could be in the physical realm, of course. Maybe you're just tidying out your closets, but I think because this is, a very psychic and emotional and even psychological theme here, that what you're giving away is a sense of needing to feel like the expert, right? Like this sense of novice, this sense of noob when you get into this new realm for yourself could be slightly, like I said, it could be slightly intimidating, even overwhelming or something. But if you lean on toward the edge of excitement for that, oh, I already did this one. Hold on. I think you'll be more pleasantly surprised at how happy you'll feel learning something new or taking on something new, as opposed to being an expert in something that you've always done. There's something to be said for both, right? I think most people like to be an expert at something and it's very familiar and etc. But this is going to be exciting in a different way for you. So give up the ghost, give up the trauma, the drama, the sense of not knowing what to do, not knowing how to make this decision, not taking that next step, whatever that is for you this week. It's time to give that away because something really huge and beautiful awaits you at the end of that decision to come closer to the edge here. Take that calculated risk. There's a great deal of excitement here. These two cards are like, wow, really, really full of energy. She's dancing on the edge, literally, and then there's this fireball in this person's hand in a huge blue sky. The number 1, infancy, brand new things, brand new world, brand new eyes, right? Looking at the world through a different lens, etc. So, and what got you here? Psychic intuition, deep knowing, wisdom, experience, etc. So don't negate that. Don't, undermine that. It's extremely important. People go through their whole lives 20, 30 years to figure stuff like that out sometimes. And if you have that knowledge, act on it. It's very potent. This is beautiful. Okay, surrender and release is your final card right now. I sincerely believe that this is part of the giveaway, okay? Part of the giveaway, part of the not for you, giving up this game, giving up this ghost theme is to say, remember how I mentioned earlier this sense of humility, like this is what happens when we try new things, yes, but it's always worth it. And if you can surrender to the highest good, if you can take that risk and just have faith, do it with love, and then release all negativity, release this sense of having to control outcomes, even having to control other people, having to know all the answers. I know personally that stops me from, or it used to stop me from some things. It's like, well, I don't have all the answers, so I'm not going to make a move. Please don't let that stop you. Surrender to the fact that this will be awarded to you. This will be given to you because you already have the essence of this deep knowledge, this intuition, this psychic energy here. And I think it will be continually provided to you. So surrender and release. Surrender then to something higher than yourself, that you're doing the right thing, you're taking a calculated risk, and release anything that comes with it, any pain or trauma or problems or games or whatever is going on there in this situation for you when you consider surrendering and releasing. So that concludes your reading. If you have a second, let me know how this works out for you. I'm genuinely curious how this works out for Scorpio. And if you're not already, subscribe to my channel because I upload videos for your sign every single week. So until we meet next time, Scorpio, take good care of yourself and I will see you then. Bye for now.